Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. So, today we have a battle against Yova. So, yeah, looking at their team there, looks to be pretty strong, pretty interesting, but a lot of pretty high-tier threats on there. A couple of interesting ones too. And looking at my team, it is the same one that I've been using the past few games here. So, what do I want to lead with in this one? Um, hmm. I think that is a good question. I think we'll go with the Fortress in this one. See if we can get something going with that. And yeah, we'll see how that works out. Alright. So, let's see here. It looks like he is going to go ahead and lead with the Dragapult as we led with the Fortress. So, not the best of matchups for us. Now, obviously, we could take this opportunity to just set some hazards, although also at the same time, this could very well be the Zoroark, not the Dragapult. So, we have to keep that in mind. I think what we do here is we just get some hazards up. I think that's probably in our best interests here. So we'll go ahead and throw a layer of spikes up, see what he wants to do as he goes for a nasty plot. So it is the Zoroark, which is not the end of the world, honestly, as that thing gets a sharp special attack increase. As we do get a layer of spikes up as well. So the reason I say it's not the end of the world is because we do have ways of dealing with this thing. So I think what we want to do now is we have to go for an attack to break the focus sash that it most certainly has. So we'll go for an Earthquake to do just that, as this thing does go for a Flamethrower, as they always do carry it typically. Is going to knock us down to our Sturdy, but we do survive, of course, because of it. And then we do go for an Earthquake here, which is going to do quite a lot of damage to that thing, actually knocks it down to about a third HP. And then, of course, the Illusion is going to go away. And that thing is actually going to red card to eject us out, which is interesting. What are we going to get forced into here is the question. It is going to be the Alcremie. So Alcremie comes out. Now, we are max HP, and Alcremie is pretty specially defensive, so we could probably take an attack from this thing. However, I really don't want to take a big shot with Alcremie, so I feel like it's more useful just going back into the Fortress to sack it off. Because we need a clean switch into Staraptor so we can outspeed this thing with a Scarf and take it out. So we're going to do just that. We're just going to go back into the Fortress to sack it off. So yeah, don't really need to take a big shot on the Alcremie. So there it is. And this thing does go for a Hyper Voice, which will obviously be more than enough to finish the Fortress off, knocking us down to 5 Pokemon. So yeah, not the greatest of starts to the game for us, but I think we can work with it, as now we will definitely come in with the Staraptor. So there's that, and we do get the Intimidate to cut this thing's attack, not that it matters. I feel like our best bet here, since this thing is set up, we really can't play around with it and try to predict, so we pretty much just have to go straight for the Brave Bird, so we're going to do that. He does stay in, and in fact, we do go Brave Bird. We do outspeed because we're Scarf, and that will be more than enough to finish off the Hisuian Zoroark, knocking him down to 5 Pokemon. So, not too bad for us. We do have some hazards up too, which is nice. And yeah, we'll see what he wants to come in with in response. He should probably know that we're Scarf at this point, because I think Hisuian Zoroark naturally outspeeds Staraptor, so he'll probably know that we're Scarf at this point. But yeah, that is what it is. So he is definitely thinking about this one. What is he gonna want to do? That is the question. Definitely thinking about this one, taking his time. And so he is going to go ahead and then come in with the Pawmot. Okay, so that thing does take some spikes damage, which is fine. Now, we know we outspeed this thing with the Scarf. However, I'm not confident that the Brave Bird will be enough to take this thing out, and I really don't want to risk that. So I feel like we definitely just switch here. Now, we could go into the Swampert, or we could go into the Pecharunt. I feel like Pecharunt's actually a better play, just because we have a lot of physical defense, and yeah, if he goes for a fighting move, that'll be a good time for us. So we'll go Pecharunt here, see what he wants to do. The Swampert play is a little obvious, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out. So we come in with the Pecharunt, as he does go for the Fake Out, which is fine. Not going to touch us since we're a Ghost type. So that worked out really well for us, actually. So in this situation, I think our best option here is, I think we can actually relatively freely just go for a Nasty Plot here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Take that opportunity to get a big special attack increase, set up to perhaps do some big damage to his team, and yeah, see what he wants to do here. He might switch out here. That is definitely a big possibility, because even if this thing goes for a big electric attack on us, we do have a lot of physical defense, and we are fully HP invested, so we should take it well enough. But yeah, we'll see what he wants to do here. Okay, so he is going to stay in and go Thunder Punch. Doesn't do much of any damage to us. He does, unfortunately, get the Para, so that really sucks. And of course we do get fully para'd, because why wouldn't we? So nothing we can do this turn. So yeah, that is really, really unlucky for us there. We do get some HP back from the Black Sludge. And this turn we're just going to try to get off a Nasty Plot once again here. We're unfortunately going to be relying on not getting para-hacked, which, if recent history is any indication, is not going to go very well for us. But we'll just have to play it out and see what happens. So he probably does switch now, if I had to guess, just because based on that damage output, he's not going to be winning a War of Attrition with the Pecharunt, that's for sure. Unless he gets crazy para-hack luck, which, you know, again, could happen, but we'll see what he wants to do here. Alright, so he is going to stay in and go for a Revival Blessing, so that's not great. So he's going to do that, and that is going to go ahead and obviously bring his Zoroark back to life. So that is definitely bad news for us, since that is the only Pokemon that we've knocked out so far. So yeah, so that's not great, and we get full para'd again. Well, that sucks. We do get some HP recovery with the Black Sludge. Let's just keep trying to get that Nasty Plot, because you would think eventually we have to not get fully para'd eventually, right? So there's only, what, like a 25% chance or 30% chance or whatever it is that we do get paralyzed, fully para'd. So you would think that eventually we won't get fully para'd, as he goes for a Thunder Punch again. Not going to do too much of any damage, and we do get full para'd for a third turn in a row. So yeah, there's that. Do we keep going for it? I mean, we get some HP back from Black Sludge. I don't know if we really lose much of anything by keeping on going for it, so yeah, let's just keep going for it. Let's try it again. So this turn he finally is going to withdraw. What does he bring in? It is going to be the Metagross. So that thing comes in, takes some spike damage, and we get para'd for the fourth turn in a row. We get full para'd on the Pecharunt. So I don't know if I've ever had a streak like this before of full paras. I mean, we came pretty close in our semifinals match back in the VHDL3 recently, but my God, that is pretty awful. At this point, I don't even want to switch to try to save Pecharunt, quite honestly. So let's just click Shadow Ball this time and see what happens as he goes for Psychic Fangs. We do take it. Barely. We survive in the red. We do break through the para this time to go for a Shadow Ball. Does massive damage to the Metagross. Unfortunately, he does survive. It is going to activate his weakness policy as well, which is pretty awful. That's going to increase his attack and special attack sharply, as we do get some HP back with the Black Sludge. So yeah, it would have been nice if we would have had any one of those 4 nasty plots we tried to go for, as that thing wouldn't have survived an attack. But yeah, I guess that's Pokemon sometimes. So let's just click Shadow Ball again. We're not going to survive another attack, as he goes for the Psychic Fang, which will definitely take the Pecharunt out and knock us down to 4. So that was a real whirlwind of para hacks there. Very unfortunate for us. We'll see what we can do to try to recover from that, but that was just god-awful. As I think our best play here is actually to go ahead and come in with the Raikou. So that's what we're going to do. We get the pressure coming into play, and so we can pretty safely, I guess we could pretty safely go for a Volt Switch here. Although, I guess technically the Pawmot could be Volt Absorb, so we have to be careful of that. But any attack we go for is going to take this thing out, so or should anyway. So what do we do here? Let's just go Scald. Let's just play it safe. We'll go Scald here, see what he wants to do. We should be outspeeding this thing. He may switch to try to save it, but if he does, it will go down on the spikes damage if it comes back in. So he could go for, if he's got the Bullet Punch priority, he could go for that. As he does just stay in, we go Scald, and sure enough, it does just go ahead and take that Metagross out, knocking him back down to 5 Pokemon. So that is something. We got rid of that thing. And yeah, we'll have to see what he wants to do now. So, what is he going to want to bring in to face the Raikou? He doesn't know that we're choice specs necessarily, but he does know we have Scald. So, we will see what he wants to do. So, what is it going to be? Okay, so it is going to be the... so, of course, it is going to be the Zoroark disguised as the... of course, the Dragapult, but of course, because of the HP, we're not going to fall for that. So let's just stay in and Scald here. We might actually outspeed this thing, depending on the spread. So yeah, we actually don't. He goes Hyper Voice. We do take some massive damage, but we do survive. Go Scald and take out the Hisuian Zoroark once again. So he must have been fully speed invested there. But that's okay. We do still survive with about 50% health. Get the Scald off to knock that thing out once again and knock him down to 4 Pokemon. So that's not too bad for us. Yeah, we're still in the game. And yeah, we'll see what he wants to come in with in response to that. What is he gonna wanna do? So he's definitely thinking about this one once again. What does he want to bring in to face the Raikou? That is the question. I feel like it could be... Okay, so it is actually going to be the Whimsicott. Okay, so that thing does take some spikes damage. Now, I feel like, unfortunately, since we are choice specs, we do have to switch here. I feel like our best bet in this situation to face the Whimsicott is probably to go into the Alcremie. I think that's our best bet, so we're going to do just that. And we'll see where that gets us here. So, there it is. And he is going to go for a Cotton Guard. So that is going to go ahead and give him a drastic defense increase. So that's definitely bad news. Bulking up on the physical defense side here. I think what we'll do in this situation, I think we're pretty safe to go for a Calm Mind here just to see what he wants to do. So we're going to try to Calm Mind and see where that gets us and see what he wants to do here. He could Cotton Guard again. This looks to be kind of an interesting set since it has Cotton Guard. So, but yeah, he's got a massive physical defense increase at this point, so we do have to be careful about that. But yeah, we'll see what he wants to do here. Hopefully trying to set up doesn't come back to bite us, but I feel like we do need a little more firepower here on the Alcremate to do anything productive with it. So yeah, we'll see where that gets us. And we'll see what he wants to do here. So he is going to go for a growth, interestingly enough. So that's going to increase his attack and special attack, as we're going to go for that Calm Mind, as that is going to increase our special attack and special defense. So interesting situation here. I feel like this turn, we don't want to get into a setup war with him any farther. So this turn we're going to go for an Alluring Voice. Now, if he does go for another stat-boosting move, the Alluring Voice actually will confuse him after the attack, which would be really handy if he gets greedy and tries to set up any farther. If he goes for an attack, he's at +1 special attack, and we're at +1 special defense, unless, of course, this thing turns out to be physical, which I can't imagine it would be, but because they typically are not, but we'll have to see. So he does go for the Energy Ball here. It is technically neutral, does some decent chip damage to us, and he gets some HP back with a Shell Bell there, as we are going to go for an Alluring Voice this time around, and it is actually just going to go ahead and take that thing outright, which is incredible, and knock him down to 3 Pokemon. So that's actually pretty good for us, as we then are going to get some HP back with the leftovers. So that's not too bad for us. We do take the lead once again in the game, which is, of course, welcome news for us. So now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Pawmot. So that's things coming in. It takes some spikes damage. Now, we're in an interesting situation here, because we could, since we are Terra Ground, we could actually Terra to gain the electric immunity, and then go ahead and take him out potentially with an attack. Now, the only reason that I kind of don't want to do that is because if we do that, we're going to make ourselves, thinking ahead actually, we're going to make ourselves extremely susceptible to that Meowscarada if we do that. Now, that may not matter just because we do have the Staraptor, so this is going to be an interesting choice for us to make here. We either do it or we switch into... I feel like we don't do it. I feel like we have to hold our Terra. Yeah, I think we'll hold our Terra. Not much time. Let's quickly switch into Swampert. I kind of want to do this because, as much as I would like to do that to get rid of this Pawmot, I don't want to put myself in a vulnerable position with that Meowscarada. So he just goes Fake Out here. We'll just go, we're kind of running out of time here. We're just going to go ahead and we'll go Earthquake, see what he wants to do here. But we are definitely starting to push the edges of the timer here, unfortunately. We'll see what he wants to do, as he does have the Meowscarada to switch into the Earthquake if he wants to. However, it's a little bit of a risk for him. We'll see what he wants to do here. But we are starting to push the edges of the timer, so hopefully we can try to get as many turns in here as possible. See what he wants to do. What is it gonna be? What is it gonna be? Okay, so he does go close combat. Does do a lot of damage to us, but we do survive. He takes the defense drops there, as we are going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake in return. and that will certainly take the Pawmot out and knock him down to 2 Pokemon. So that is pretty good for us as we are continuing to push the edges of the timer. So he's got the Dragapult and the Meowscarada left. What is he going to want to come in with here is the question. And I would say it's probably going to be, indeed it is, the Meowscarada. So we're going to try to play this quick. He does take some spikes damage. We're just going to stay in an Ice Punch here. He'll probably take us out with a Grass Attack, but that's totally fine if he does. And yeah, we're going to try to finish up. So he actually goes U-turn instead, interestingly enough. Protean going to change him to a Bug type. Unfortunately, we cannot survive the U-turn, so that sucks. But it is going to go ahead and pivot him out into, of course, the Dragapult. So we go down to 3 there, as now we are in the final moments of the game here, and he goes out into the Dragapult, so there it is. Takes some spikes damage, and so we certainly come in with the Alcremie at this point with very little time left on the clock. We'll see what happens here, and then we definitely just go straight for the Alluring Voice, no reason not to. And we'll see what he wants to do. It is super effective against both of his last Pokemon, so we'll see what we want to do. Hopefully we can get at least 1 more turn here. It doesn't look like we're going to get 2, unfortunately, as he does go for a Phantom Force just to waste more time, because why not, I suppose. We go Alluring Voice, obviously going to miss him, and then we're only going to... Oh, can we get 1 more turn? As we get some HP back with the leftovers, we might be able to get 1 more turn. 10 seconds left on the clock. We'll go for the Alluring Voice again. And so, yeah, he goes Phantom Force here, and we do survive it, barely with a 1/4 HP. Go for the Alluring Voice in return. It is enough to go ahead and, with a critical hit, actually, don't know if that mattered, but it does knock the Dragapult out, knocking him down to just 1 Pokemon, which is pretty good for us, obviously. We do get some HP back with the leftovers out as the timer expires here, and his last Pokemon is, of course, going to be that Meowscarada, which that thing will come in. It's going to take another round of spikes damage, and so, yeah, I think, although the timer's up here, I think we might have had this one, but yeah, we're going to get a technicality here. We're just going to click Alluring Voice, but it's not going to matter because the timer is up, and as soon as he just has to make his selection there. Yeah, that is going to be game. So I think that even despite the timer, I think we were definitely in the driver's seat to finish this one off here. If only we had just a little bit more time. Because obviously we can't survive an attack with the Alcremie. Or with the Raikou, but we do have our choice Scarf Staraptor, so I think that certainly would have given us the juice to finish this one off. But unfortunately, thanks to the timer, we won't know for 100% certain. Yeah, I don't know what he's waiting on at this point. Yep, there we go. So time is up, the battle is over, and yeah, we do take the win. So as I said, we are going to win this one. Technically a 3-1 victory over Yova, but that was a really solid match. Really close, competitive, hard-fought game there. Like I said, I think even without the timer, we probably could have had that one with the Scarf Staraptor at the end. And unfortunately, as we will back out here, just kind of goes to show you that the timer is just a killer. If only, like I said, we could have just a few more minutes on that timer, we could finish a lot more games. Although I think this is actually the first game in quite some time that we've had that's gone to timer because of all of our league games in the recent past. But yeah, still a really solid game nonetheless. So thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.